Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to the NASCAR series here. As we continue to move along, we're here in Elmira. The folks have just enjoyed the Go Bowling at the Glen race. Shane Van Gisbergen was the winner. It's very interesting. I honestly haven't been able to really pay active attention to NASCAR for many years at this point. I mean, I just kind of follow it in the papers, just kind of see what's going on, where everybody's at, and so forth. But I do not recall a time where there have been so many repeat winners. I think we've had dominating people at times, like in the Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson era, where maybe one or two drivers would win 5 or 6 races or whatever, multiple races. But having a bunch of drivers win 2, 3, 4 races, I don't know that I recall that recently, and it could just be that I'm just being a bit goofy or whatever. I don't know. I was just checking my tracker to make sure, because things were just acting a little weird, but it does show that I'm boarding, and it looks like it's gonna work, so we'll see. We'll get the charts loaded. Once again, I'm going to ask for my clearance here.
555 Sierra Mike, traffic alert, 2 o'clock, 4 miles opposite direction. Traffic in sight, Cirrus 555 Sierra Mike.
So I need to get to 121.9. 1219er. Elmira clearance, Walker 4021, requesting IFR to Richmond.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Alright, so in the meantime, we're going to import this, and as you may have guessed, if you were unaware of the NASCAR schedule, this weekend, we're in Richmond.
Clear to Richmond. Radar vectors, Williamsport. Then as filed, climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 24010 minutes after departure. Departure on 128.425 squawk 1752. And your departure runway was changed to 28.
Clear to Richmond, radar vectors, Foxtrot, Quebec, Mike, then as filed, climb and maintain 4000, expect flight level 24010 minutes after departure. Departure on 128.425, squawk 1752, and your departure runway changed to 28, Walker 4021. That was a long way. Alright, so 28. Said readback correct. That's not what we heard, but that's what it said. Alright, so I was thinking we were going to be on 6 because that's what we filed. Not sure if we're going to end up on 2, so I don't have anything loaded. I think I'm just going to leave it that way. And we're going to load as the active plan this way, and then go from there, and then we'll just basically work through the rest in flight. So not a super long flight, 280 nautical miles. This is one of those in-betweeny things that I'm like, well, do we just stay on and make this a full episode? And I think I'm going to give it a go. I have the ability to do that where I shouldn't be interrupted, so I think we'll be okay. APU's just about up here. We can now turn on our flight director, get VNAV and NAV, go to our flight plan. Ground is still 121.9, so we're going to leave that there. Departure, as we know, is 128425. So I'm going to set, because FQM's 49 miles, so yeah, I'm going to set my height at 240, so we should be able to do that in 50 miles, I would think. And, you know, we'll go from there at that point. We need to get dialed in at 4,000. So that will work there. And I need to get, we're limited IFR, IFR, so I think that's limited. It is kind of foggy this morning in this area, as you can kind of tell, I suppose. If we scan around, we're not seeing the hills really clearly. Again, I continue to use Say Intentions, which has the AI Living World, so any injection here should be coming from that.
Diamond 124 Papa Tango is cleared to Lebanon, radar vectors Rockdale, and is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 190 after 10. Departure on 128.425.
So yeah, I've got a lot of planes on the ground here at Elmira.
Elmira clearance. So, SkyWest 384.
Just a mob of planes, as you can see.
Wayne Metro, we have information, Charlie.
And then there's some other airport nearby that has a bunch of things on the ground. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and get everything going. We'll get these to run. We'll fire this up. I know we definitely have enough fuel, but I will double check. Yeah, if we need 4,700, we have by default 2,600 or whatever. Getting my trim moved in. It's at the top of the screen. Getting that into the green. And then, since we are getting things going, we can go ahead and move our flaps because the hydraulics should be fully powered and all of that. So 2996, 2996. Gonna go on up, get our emergency lights. We'll just kind of get everything going. Recognition pulse, anti-collision. We're all set there. I'm confused. Why? Like, I had seen that, but I don't understand. Yeah, something's... Oh, duh. Stupid me. I didn't take any of my covers off. Well, thank goodness we didn't set the plane on fire. Alright. Wow. Well, normally I go around and I tell you everything before we head out. But yeah, so much for not following the routine, right? So yeah, it's like, yeah, I can't get any air. I can't start. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, hopefully that'll work out. Alright, because yeah, I'm sure it got to that point where it was going to start up and it's like, I'm not getting the pressure I need. Yeah, this is what I want. I'm like, the gadgets aren't working right. Okay. Wow. Well, that's embarrassing. Hopefully my passengers weren't aware enough of what was happening. That's not going to inspire a lot of confidence. Our pilot's trying to start the engines with the engine covers on.
Hawker 511 Hotel Alpha Taxi to holding point Charlie 1 via taxiway Golf and Echo.
So, anyway. At least we didn't erupt into flame or anything, which might have been the other alternative, so that would have been bad. Alright, so we can now turn off our APU.
4,000, flight level 43010 minutes, departure 128.42, squawk 6751.
Okay, so I think we're good with all that.
So 32603.
So we'll call for taxi.
Requesting takeoff clearance VFR, runway 24.
Elmira ground, Walker 4021 ready for taxi.
Walker 4021, taxi to runway 28 via Tango Bravo Alpha Charlie, cross runway 6, then Golf.
Taxi to runway 28 via Tango Bravo Alpha Charlie, cross runway 6, then Golf. Walker 4021. Alright, so we'll release the parking brake. Get ourselves a little bit up into the air here. I know turning left is going to be cleaner. So, again, there's always folks on the ground that Flight Simulator puts in. But yeah, the fuel box should be over to the left. So I basically took the stand closest to the fuel box, thinking runway 6, which is kind of where the windsock is, was where we would go. And clearly we are not. So we're also going to a 5,000 foot runway instead of an 8,000 foot runway. So we do have that. Right, so I'm assuming these are the quick Tango, Bravo, and then going to Alpha. Looks like we have snow here, which doesn't make sense because it's August. I think it's just really bright. Probably want to slow down the engines a bit. We're cranking along here. Alright, and then we're going to cross runway 6, which, as I said, would have been right there. So this is now turning on to Charlie to cross runway 6. What is going on with my steering? Why is it going so far? I mean, I know I'm moving a bit, but goodness. Alright. And obviously 28 is going to kind of be east-west, so I'm guessing that we are going to taxi for, well, I guess we're not going very far because it's 624. Alright, 28's diagonal, so, alright, runway 5 is there. So now it looks like we're going for a bit. I assume this is Golf that we've turned on to. And yes, I'm pulling away. There's another aircraft I can see on my little nav map that is kind of moving around. For a small plane, we're not doing too bad. I mean, we're doing a ground speed of 34 knots. That's kind of quick for taxi. Really, you know, probably below 30 would be good. I did pull the engines back again, but I don't know. We are cooking here. So we'll see if it. Sometimes it'll sense we're here, but at these small airports, it doesn't always do so. Right. So I just want to make sure I can see my hold point.
Metro radar vectors, Jackie, then it's filed, climb, maintain 4,000, expect.
Okay. So we'll get this on, and now I need tower, which is 121.1. We're gonna have to lose our part there. Elmira Tower, Walker 4021, runway 28, ready for takeoff. Alright, so let me get in 128.425. 128.4.
Walker 4021,
Oops.
Elmira Corning Regional Airport Tower, runway 28, winds 240 at 6, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
128.425. Runway 28, cleared for takeoff, fly runway heading, Walker 4021. Alright, let's get our landing lights on, taxi lights off. Should be all set there. Alright. So we're going to fly runway heading. But again, we're set for flight level 240 is where we ultimately want to get. You know, winds at 6, so they're not crazy. There we go. And again, our tracker we know is on because we've already done that, so we won't have the aborted takeoff I did last time. But here we go. Those are, I don't know what those little red things were there. That's a little unique. Alright, and we've got lift. And positive rate. Gear up. And we'll fly runway heading. We'll try to climb a little bit less, but we're on 280. We're actually holding it quite nicely. Back off the engines a bit. Otherwise we're gonna blow past.
Walker 4021, contact departure.
Gonna go blow past. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not take the nose up like crazy. And we'll go to autopilot.
Sync rate.
Contact departure, Walker 4021.
Sync rate. Terrain. 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 Terrain.
Elmira departure, Walker 4021 with you.
Terrain. 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 Terrain.
Alright.
Walker 4021, Elmira departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 240, turn
We're
left heading
circling
170, vectors to Williamsport, then on navigation.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, turn left heading 170, vectors to Foxtrot, Quebec Mike, then on navigation, Walker 4021. I keep missing what town that is or whatever, so what the fix is actually called. Alright, so we're here. This is a bit sloppy, in theory. Wow. Every time I come out here, I'm like exceeding the GPU memory. I don't understand. But, yeah, somewhere in there. But yeah, we were like headed towards some hills. You can see, you know, we're kind of going in there. We're going 140, so we're not really where we should be. But, so there's someone coming in to land behind us. They're 70 knots, 1,000 feet. So, you know, we took off. They're coming in on the opposite run, or on runway 28 as well. So we're all good. But we're at getting up near 10,000 feet, so we'll be able to turn off the landing lights in a bit. And as I said, we've only got 280 miles, so it's not sure.
2123, contact New York Center on 133.35.
Let me see if it'll give
Switch it
me
to
any
New York Center on
info.
133.35, E-port 2123.
Because I'm kind of worried this is still going to be, that this is still going to be an hour of flying, and that's a long time.
Contact Elmira departure on 124.3.
Switching to Elmira departure on 124.3 and Husky 1 Foxtrot, Quebec.
United 2479, contact Cleveland Center on 124.325.
So yeah, it's actually showing 49 minutes, which means it will be near an hour because we're going to slow down. So I am going to break away. We're not gonna stick with each other for an hour. So yeah, I think it's more if I've got like 100 miles or something. Because I was thinking, I'm like, you know, we're banging on the door of 300 nautical miles with this, because we're going from New York, and yes, it is kind of at the border of PA that we took off from, so Elmira, Watkins Glen is kind of right there, just north of Williamsport, well, you know, a good bit north of Harrisburg and so forth, you know, but then we got to cross all of PA, we've got to get across Maryland, get through a good hunk of Virginia, because Richmond's kind of in the center there. You know, kind of fly over Washington, D.C., all that. All right, we're at transition altitude here, so we'll get that resolved. But yeah, I didn't request a huge altitude here, so we should be fine. But yeah, I'm worried. If we go to 2, we kind of need to circle around Richmond. I mean, again, we've got another 2,000 pounds of fuel. You know, so almost 30% more than we would have normally needed. So we should be okay for any directions they're going to take. But right now, again, we have no approach, we have no runway in, so I am going to need to go to that procedure, you know, and set things up. I mean, right now it thinks we're doing ILS 2, but like we haven't loaded that or anything. So
Walker 4021, contact New York Center on 133.35.
contact New York Center 133.35, Walker 4021. New York Center, Walker 4021 with you, flight level 230, climbing flight level 240.
Walker 4021, New York Center, good morning.
Alright, so we are leveling out. This is a wonderful time to step away. We've, you know, we're into Pennsylvania now. We're heading south. We've obviously still got 25 miles to our first fix that we said we wanted to be at 24 at, so more than beat it out. But I will see you in a bit. So I'm popping back in here. You can see we've made a little bit of progress. We're past the last fix. We're now headed to Echo Mike, India. We're about a little under 90 nautical miles from there. So we were given clarification from New York Center that we're going to come in on the Spider 5 arrival. And so we've put that in. So we have Spider 5. We're also landing on runway 34, where I was thinking I was landing on runway 02 or something. So that's a bit of a change. So, you know, we're coming around to the south, basically. Definitely a more roundabout route. The most useful thing, what it is kind of an RNAV approach. There is ILS there, but I think the RNAV is going to bring us in. But those, if you're familiar with them, are kind of a curved approach. So you follow an arc in to the flight path. So we're going to head to this waypoint, and then we're going to go to Colin, which is about 85 nautical miles away. And then we've got about 60. And then we've got about 63 miles that we're going to head west, kind of southwest. We're going to pass on the north side of Richmond.
Change approved. For Romeo Alpha, have a good night.
So if you're familiar with Richmond at all,
For Romeo Alpha is at 3,200 feet, just east of Ithaca. Request IFR clearance to Caldwell.
Husky 6 Bravo Tango, proceed direct taxi. Cleared for the RNAV runway 29er approach until established.
so there is an airport,
4100.
Richmond.
Cleared for the RNAV runway 29er approach. Husky 6 Bravo Tango.
Richmond, Ashland, Hanover County Municipal, Kilo Oscar Foxtrot Papa, that is on the north side of Richmond. We're basically going to cross 90 degrees across their flight path to their main runway as we're coming in to attach to Spider and join the Spider 5 arrival. So that is the plan. I will probably get us on again as we're just about ready to get to Spider, make the turn to the southeast, and start heading around Richmond. And, you know, maybe we'll follow along there, and that'll be a little bit interesting. But I wanted to let you know what the situation is, because sometimes I take care of this stuff off camera. And for those who are looking for a little bit more information, a little bit of interest in the flight plan and what's going on, I think it's helpful to share this, and you know, that might encourage some more views and some more likes. So speaking of that, if you are enjoying this, please consider liking and subscribing. Very important to the YouTube algorithm and greatly appreciated. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pop you in here a little bit earlier than I thought, but we've kind of got the top of descent call that they've given us clearance. We're about a minute from the top of descent. If we look here, we've got a TOD, You know, that's all dialing in the levels correctly, but we need to be at 8,000 by Spider. I know I said I'd probably come back in at Spider, and we're about 50 miles from Spider, but thought you guys might want to join for the full descent. So it's been kind of clear. We've been really heading toward these clouds, but then we turned. We've obviously got a cloud layer above us, too. So, the 20 flight level 240 is looking a little prescient, because I think otherwise I'd be probably having to change the level anyway. You can see descent has begun. Throttles are being pulled back.
Virgin 875, reduce speed to 220 knots for sequencing. Reducing to 220 knots, Virgin 875.
But we have since passed Washington, kind of come in through the Potomac Inlet, Paxton River, which I think is a naval station. We've gone south of that, but now, like I said, we're kind of heading southwest, and we're going to be passing north of Richmond. So Richmond's going to be kind of over there. I mean, it's showing that we're 28 miles from the airport, but we probably have 100 miles of flight. So we've got a ways to go.
On 119.85, Southwest
Right, we are at 2993 for the barometer. So we'll just kind of get everything set. But at 18, we're going to transition, so that will drop us a bit, but no big deal. But yeah, coming in, and it is VFR conditions at Richmond. So, and Richmond, I think, is the main airport. I don't think there was really anything that was more convenient to the racetrack. So I think I haven't really said, yeah, it's the Cookout 400. It's taking place tonight. So, or actually, I'm sorry, Sunday night at 7:30. I don't know why I thought it was tonight. So that is unique. Well, the NASCAR page says Sunday, August 16th, but that isn't Sunday. So, but the main schedule page on the NASCAR page says Saturday, August 16th. So, little bit of a problem with their web designers there in NASCAR, so shame on them. Confused me. So yes, it is tonight at 7:30, because that will be August 16th. And that makes sense, because then, because otherwise people aren't usually too thrilled to be doing stuff on a Sunday night into, 11 or midnight, and then by the time you get home and all that, like, it could be a lot of crazy. So, just floating along. All right, we've cleared transition. I was talking, looking at other things. So, monitoring, things in life, so forth. But at this point, yeah, we're starting to see, not really here. This is something else. It's probably more under the clouds. I mean, we're not going to be super close. We're not going to be super close to Richmond. Contact Potomac approach 126.75, Walker 4021. Potomac approach, Walker 4021 with you. Spider 5 arrival into Richmond.
Walker 4021, Potomac approach. Expect the visual runway 34 approach into Richmond. Walker 4021, Potomac approach. Good morning, Richmond altimeter 29.901. Expect the visual runway 34 approach into Richmond.
Expect visual runway 34 approach into Richmond, Walker 4021. Alright, Alright, well, as I said, we're kind of doing the RNAV, just because it'll give us something to fly, and, you know, so they may vector us differently, so we'll see, but once we kind of turn on Spider and stuff, we can kind of make sure our heading's set. Basically, you just need to press that, and you'll see the heading bug shows up, heading 255, 255, so, you know, and as it says, sync mode. So I'm not quite sure if sync mode it'll be a good test, because I've never really looked at what that wording said, but it'll be curious if sync mode then brings us in to maintain the heading as we turn. So as we turn its Spider in about 13 miles or so, I think that's what we're seeing, 13.4, yep, 12.9, 12.7. And again, we're getting close to 10,000, so I'm going to go ahead and get my landing lights on, just so we don't have any issues. But again, our goal by Spider was 8,000, so, and you can see Spider's there on our navigation map. But we're obviously making a turn because it's even tighter than a 90. So.
Skywagon 4 Oscar Bravo, climb and maintain 2,000.
Up to 2,000, Skywagon 4 Oscar Bravo.
Skywagon 4 Oscar Bravo. So Walker has added a bunch of tours again. They've added, I think, 15 new tours today. So I have a lot of flights I could do with Walker. I'm telling you, there was a part of me that's like, I don't know, maybe I just become a flight sim channel. I'm sure anybody listening to this video is like, yeah, do that. You know, but I still do like doing other things. It's just, I've said it before, I'm sure I'll say it again. Flight sim can consume your life if you choose to do so. Like, there is a never-ending set of things. So they basically added a bunch of airliner things, airliner tours that will let you fly in a certain area of the world. So I think they have one for Pakistan, and, you know, just really different things. They have a Trans-Siberian run, which just gets us through in that area. I mean, there's just so many areas of the world I've never flown to or been to. I mean, there's the whole Africa thing.
Skywagon 1 Tango Golf, established on the approach.
Skywagon 1 Tango Golf, roger.
All right, so, sorry, it was
Walker
just...
4021, descend and maintain 4,000. Turn left heading 140 vectors for the visual runway 34 approach.
Right, so the sync is working.
Cardinal 4 Foxtrot November, contact Wakefield Tower on 122.8.
Descend and maintain 4,000. Turn left heading 140 vectors for the visual runway 34 approach. Walker 4021. So at this point, again, we got Richmond kind of spreading out a little ways out there. You know, again, it's the edge of the city. Let's see how close we get to 140, because I think it looks like DTK is pointing us at that. So the signal we're getting for Spider is going to be right around 140. So I think this will be good. And it's possible that it will just kind of vector us in along the RNAV that I've selected, which would be nice. You know, and this is tricky because it's telling us, you know, we're 20 miles away, but again, I'm kind of going parallel to the runway here, and it's really on the other side of town. It's all the way on the other side of Richmond is where we're going to land. So, you know, definitely you can start to see the homes and so forth, the neighborhoods that you would expect. But what I'm talking about is, as far as the flaps, I think until I get onto ducks, bottom of descent in less than a minute. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bring up our landing monitor because that will be helpful.
Over to Charlottesville Albemarle Tower on 124.5 volt, Voyager 9er Yankee Zulu.
And there is an RNAV approach tour as well, so, you know,
established on the approach.
part of the challenge with the RNAVs is, again, flying those curves. And again, with autopilot, it's easier, but you're setting up on the runway in a very different way than you're doing on an ILS, which is a very straight-in approach for quite a while. You know, we're probably going to be straight in from like 3 miles out. But in a smaller business jet like this, like, we can do that. So, so now it's going to start the turn in a moment. And then, let's see, what have we got? Whoops, not going to start the turn in a moment because I didn't do this. So we're going to go direct.
Citation 1 Delta Echo 2000 for 4000.
So we're going to go to varmint.
Citation 1 Delta Echo, radar contact. Climb and maintain 1000.
And now we want to be above 3,500. So I think at this point I'm going to change things here. We're going to...
Walker 4021, turn right, heading 150. Departure, Skyhawk 9er, India Bravo 2000 for 4000.
Turn right, heading 150, Walker 4021.
Climb 1000, Skyhawk 9er, India Bravo.
Walker 41. Walker 4021 requesting the RNAV Yankee approach into runway 34. Let's see if we can get it
Walker
to switch us.
4021, radar vectors Williamsport, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 24010 minutes after departure.
That's not what I
Departure
wanted.
on 128.425 squawk 1752. Walker 4021, cleared RNAV Yankee approach runway 34 at Richmond.
Cleared RNAV Yankee approach runway 34 at Richmond, Walker 4021.
Climb 11 1000, Moxie 534.
Alright, so now I think we're gonna drop our flaps one. That will start to slow us down. So we've got some rivers, we've got, you know, a lot of stuff going on here. 3,900 feet, we're going down to 3,500, and then we can see we need to be at 28, 2,000, 1,300.
6 right, maintaining 190 or greater, American 1289er.
You know, and so the RNAV is really more,
Last for Delamede 2949.
you know, like we've got some directions here, but it won't
0905,
really normally handle.
ILS 34 approach, 2949.
Right, so it's going to lock in there at 3,500. Now you can go down to 2,800 in a little bit, because I want to be above 3,500 here.
Skywagon 4 Oscar Bravo, contact Richmond Executive Chesterfield Tower on
So now we're going to
123.05.
slow down again.
Over to Richmond Executive Chesterfield Tower on 123.05.
Right, we're about 2 miles from Varmint.
Oscar Bravo.
Then we're going to be going to,
Richmond Executive Chesterfield
what is it?
Tower.
Rutland, I'm sure.
Skywagon 4 Oscar Bravo. Established on the approach.
Skywagon 4 Oscar Bravo, roger.
See, now I'm not sure if Potomac is going to bring us in. You'd think there'd be a Richmond Tower or something.
Spirit Wings 1229, radar contact, climb and maintain 12-2000.
So it's telling me in a minute.
Spirit Wings 1229.
Yeah, that doesn't seem correct. Like, that seems too slow. So I'm gonna drop down again. And again, we might get an approach. We'll see, because, yeah, so RNAV won't do the lateral, but it should do the vertical.
Climb 1000, citation 5 Mike November.
So you can see we're coming in at 2800. There is a glide slope, so there's glide path.
Maintain 2000.
So we'll
Up to
see.
2000, citation 5 Mike November.
Need to be above 2800 when we hit Rutland, and then we should be above 2000.
Walker 4021, turn right heading 175. Over to Potomac departure. Spirit Wings 1229 at 1000.
Turn right heading 175, Walker 4021. Seeing we're turning left. I don't understand.
Radar contact.
Right, so I'm gonna see if it's gonna grab. Right, it is doing something. It's not really grabbing what I would expect, but it is going down. So yeah, I don't know that it's going to grab the glide path, but we're kind of coming around. I'm going to fully flaps down now because we are 7 miles out. Like I said, we are...
Citation 5 Mike November, contact Jamestown Williamsburg Tower on 122.8.
We are definitely falling in here. And so it's 2,000 and then like 1,300 at Wowzer.
Citation 5 Mike November.
So an RNAV is just like, it's a little bit more involvement. And again, you're coming in on this arc, as you can see. So it's just a very different way to go.
Departure Skymaster 4 Delta Whiskey 2000 for 4000.
I did see a blink there, but that's not us. Like we still,
altitude restrictions canceled.
We still have to turn a bit because again we got to get down to 1,300.
Southwest 399 and reduce speed to 180, then descend and maintain 4000.
And there it is. So you can see how quickly it brings you in. So we're going to drop 700 feet here.
Direct Krogu. Iver 2877, roger.
Now, this is an insane descent. So I'm not quite sure why it's that active. But yeah, if I can get in here.
Centurion 8 India Yankee established on the approach.
Alright.
Walker 4021, contact Richmond Tower on 121.1.
Contact Tower 121.1, Walker 4021. Richmond Tower, Walker 4021. Runway 34, clear, looking to land. I don't know why just weird, because, yeah, this is now, alright, so what I want to do is, again, we'll get the auto throttle off.
Wind 340 at 3, runway 34, cleared to land.
We're going to turn off this. So now we're just bringing this in. Runway 34, cleared to land, Walker 4021. So this is why normally I have my friend Sarah doing some things. But, we should be pretty good. But yeah, RNAVs, like, it'll keep you awake. Because you're just lining up really close to the runway. So they did offer a tour where they're doing, I think, like 13 RNAV approaches, which I assume are probably some more challenging ones than normal. Because they even said, like, if you want to come in differently, like, still fly the approach and then do a missed approach and go around, but that gives you the ability to test things. So again, you're aiming at those big white ones, but then you're looking at the end of the runway to try to really get a good flare. And so I'm too far, obviously. A little bit of a bounce. So that was almost too light, but again, in a business jet, nah, I could have exited. I just saw that a little too late, but I'm like, nah, I'm moving along. So we'll exit to the left here. but we can now get flaps up, which I'm always bad at doing. And again, we'll reconfigure. Like again, normally the co-pilot would be doing this and reconfiguring us for the lights and all that, because we want to get taxi lights on now. We've landed. Right, so again, you want to vacate beyond the line. Something that I'm going to bring this up like every time.
Welcome to Richmond. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Because it took me forever to learn this from someone, and they're like, yeah, flight simmers do it wrong all the time. They stop before the line. You don't do that. Richmond ground, Walker 4021, request taxi to gate.
Walker 4021, taxi to B14B via Charlie, cross runway 20, then Alpha Echo. Have a great day.
Airbus 4.
Taxi to B14 Bravo via Charlie, cross runway 20, then Alpha Echo. Walker 4021. Right, so the good news is, in theory, we're...
General Aviation Park at your discretion.
I think we're in good shape here. I'm just trying to see my ground speed.
Richmond ground, American 1350, ready to push and start.
Nobody's complained about the arrows. I know, obviously, you know, this isn't what happens in real life. So I use them just to avoid complexity. I mean, I think... I mean, I could see the case, like, if I'm an airliner or something, you know, maybe to go for a real experience, but I'm not sure it's... You know, I've been very upfront. I'm not an aviation person in real life. So I think if people are looking for proper procedure and everything to the letter, I'm probably not top of their list of channels to watch. I'd love to be the top of the list for anybody of channels to watch, but, you know, I have my realistic understanding. Like, they're going to go to, you know, an Airbus pilot or a Boeing pilot who's flight simming and, you know, not reading off a chart or whatever. Like, I definitely, even after thousands of hours in flight sim, I'm not clearly remembering. So you can see, again, poor airport design. We've got landing lights right in the middle of the taxiway. This, again, is why folks have regularly suggested, like, you know, okay, so the arrows are still there, but why they've said just turn off collisions. Because I think, like, our wheel would hit that and the flight would end. And that would be really sad because I wouldn't get credit. You know, it would say I crashed, and there's another one right in the middle of the taxiway. Like, it should be, you know, and there's a spot for it over on the right. It's just like when they placed it, however they do it with airport design. I see Two-Tone Murphy's going to do some series on designing an airport, which is kind of crazy. I didn't know he knew how to do that, but, and maybe he's going to have someone help out and he doesn't know how to do it, and he's going to learn like everybody else. But, alright, now what? Oh, I see. I think we go over there to the right. Because I'm like, this kind of ends here. So heading straight doesn't make sense, but yeah, I think I see something right there. So we'll make the turn, so then this will be, we've been on Alpha, and then I assume we're on Echo. And then we're getting to whatever stand it wants us to get to, because I'm sure it's taken us to some GA area, which would make sense. And then B14B, I mean, what I can do, certainly, is I can try to go look to the airport info and see if I can find this stand, but not really. Doesn't look like it. So I think we're supposed to turn somewhere here. Yep. Okay. Alright, so we're going there, and then a sharp turn. Oh no, I do see it. Okay. So I do see 14A. So...
Tornado 892 Tango Oscar, pushback approved. Expect runway 21 for departure.
So this is one of these.
Expecting
So
runway
yeah,
14. Tango Oscar.
I think this is it.
80578 taxi via Alpha, hold short 20. Will
So,
contact.
even though there's no terminal building, we have gates. So again, when we talk about like crazy
aircraft, Victor now current altimeter
poor
2994.
design, you know, yeah, I think we're crazy poor design here. All right, so we'll see. Again, I can start my APU up so I have power. And then we will go ahead and unprotect these, turn things off. The APU should just about be up. And then that will be giving us power. Yeah, it's not quite there yet, but it's close. But now I should be able to request deboarding. And we'll see if this moves. Doesn't look like it. But yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a whole terminal here that's just like not present, which is kind of funny. All right, well, either way, I was hoping we could get a little bit of GSX help, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out. So we'll not worry about it. Goodness gracious, what is going on? All right. There are no passenger stairs. You will not see passengers visually, and they'll deboard very, very quickly. So, like, it's doing it. And then, alright, so it's like, it's doing a turnaround. So it's getting ready to, you know, fill us to whatever we need, but that's what you could do with certain things. So, fuel truck is in position, but we didn't tell it how much fuel because we're not doing anything. So I just do my quick check. It looks like the PIREP was sent in. And now if I go to here for leg 26, yep, it shows green. And so we've got a longer flight next time. Again, then I can only see the next 4. But everything's under 600 miles, but we're over 500 miles next because we're heading down to Daytona next week. So big excitement for folks there. We'll see how that goes, but that's a track that might be cool. I've never gotten down to any of the really big ones, Talladega, Daytona, anything like none of the super speedways. But I'm flying these people there, so I get to the airport, but you know, Walker's certainly not paying for me to have tickets to the races. But no, in real life, I've not gotten there either. So that is what I meant. I think people understand that. But happy to get this one done, and pretty excited that we're proceeding through the season. But like I said, all those new tours in Walker was like, oh my God, I have. Because I swear there's some that were like 110 or 85 legs. Like, there'd be so much flying to do. And that's just in Walker. I mean, I still have to do my United flight, which, again, I don't normally put on the channel. I do have to get back to a pilot's life. I have seen this new one, if people are wondering. I think it's Fly the Line. It's like a short haul. It says Fly the Line short haul. Sorry, let me turn off say intentions. Because yeah, we don't need that, and that's just going to make things go longer. I did see, I think it's Just Flight released something called Fly the Line Short Haul Edition, which people are speculating is there going to be a long haul edition. Either way, to me, it's a cutesy, gamey thing. Like, basically, its claim to fame is it's not just telling you where to fly and not just doing like, hey, you're flying, you're getting paid to fly, you've got contracts like a pilot's life. It you're doing all the other things, like you're managing the rest of your life. You're saying what you want to do with your downtime. Do you want to exercise? Do you want to go out to eat? Do you want to do whatever? And then all of that impacts your readiness to fly, and how fatigued you are and stuff like that. And you have a house, so you have like this 3D floor plan, so it's like they're bringing the Sims in as well, and you can add furniture and whatever. It just, if it was free or something, I mean, sure, I'd try it, but it's like $40, I think, or something to buy. And I saw someone I have some pretty good respect for, I think it was like Stero. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but they did a pilot's life versus fly the line, and yeah, I didn't see anything different, and they kind of defaulted back to a pilot's life. They were up front. They said they had like over 1,000 hours in flying for a pilot's life already, and obviously since Fly the Line is new, they only had done like a week's worth, so they only had spent like 20 hours in it. And again, in a week, 20 hours, so that's what I'm saying, like, the channel could just become another flight sim channel, but I think it would just vanish even more into the ether if I do that. And like I said, I still would be doing other things. It's just it would alleviate the pressure of, ooh, I need to get, a trucking run done, like I did last night, for example, to get you guys the August 14th truck run that we had in Iowa. And so there just is, because I have a lot less time in real life. Job's gotten busier, and I'm certainly not in a position where, nor even if I was in a position, you don't want to get to the point where you're just ignoring your job because you're playing video games and flight simming. I mean, there's probably more than enough people in the world that do that. I certainly don't want to be one of them. So, I'm way too responsible for that. Like, that would devastate me if it became suddenly like, yeah, you missed all your deadlines for the last 3 months. You're not really a reliable employee, so we're going to let you go, type of thing. It's one thing if something happens that's entirely out of my control, where they suddenly decide we're going to downsize, and, it's not specifically a performance thing, but either way, I'm trying to avoid any kind of problems, because that would just create all kinds of stress and difficulty in my life. We're not really at the point where we could just easily absorb that. We've got some time before we're ready to step away, and that I'd be retired from working life and then really able to just be like, hey, whatever I want to do, if I, as long as we're not doing something, my wife and I aren't doing something, I can sit and sim. And I get sucked into something and do it for 8 hours a day. But really, I'm spending maybe 2-3 hours a day simming, which is probably half or a third of what I had been doing in the last year or so. So obviously that means a half or a third less content time creation and all that, and that's the thing, like those 2-3 hours include like editing and all of that. So I shared a lot. People might not care, but just being upfront where things are at, because I'm having this push in what I love the flight sim. Like I feel like, oh my god, I could just do this and it would be, because I'm not being successful in PGA tours. I still enjoy that. It's like, I don't know, I'll just shut up now because I'm just rambling. But anyway, we're here in Richmond. They are going to go see the Cookout 400 tonight. Hopefully the weather stays nice like it is now. And obviously, again, I'm flying this a couple days ahead. Yes, I'm using live weather. This is the weather in Richmond when I did this. But, on Saturday the weather may be different. But we're pretending it's Saturday here for the role play that we're doing with Walker, and we are here. But yeah, at this point, between all the tours I have available, I would not be surprised if I have like 2,000 flights I could do just in Walker to do all the tours. It's insane. And like literally thousands of hours of flight time. So, I mean, I could fill probably 2 or 3 years with just what is available for Walker Tour. Like, literally 2 or 3 years, 24 hours a day. You know, well, I guess more like a work day. When I think of it, like 2,000 hours is a year, like a work year. So I'm thinking more like that I could literally do that, and I probably have 2 to 3 years, because, I mean, this one that I'm doing is, you know, is 83 hours of flight time just for the NASCAR thing, and there's others that are 100, 150 hours. So certainly there's at least 1,000 hours, but I think there's way more than that. And that's just in this world. So anyway, I will see you next time.